This is The Drive with Mark Penatelli.
New Bern Sporting Goods, 3721 Trent Road in New Bern. All of your athletic equipment needs, no matter what sport you play. New Bern Sporting Goods can get you equipped to compete and win. Plus, they do customized screen printing, embroidery, and even customized plaques and trophies. There is no job too big or too small. Just talk to the professionals at New Bern Sporting Goods today. Again, you can catch them at 3721 Trent Road in New Bern. On the web at nbsports.net. New Bern Sporting Goods, where you're always in the game.
We got a phone call.
Yay!
Joining us, ESPN Greenville's very own Kyle Gaskins. Kyle, happy Tuesday to you, sir. Hope you're doing well.
Happy Tuesday to you. I'm doing great. Getting ready to head over to a very warm Clark Flair Stadium for nice little midweek baseball action.
Yeah, Mother Nature, has decided to start summer a little bit early, and many people are happy about that. Some people not so much so. But, boy, yeah, midweek baseball. And we're going to get to this in a little bit, but let's actually talk a little ECU. How about let's go back to Sunday where the Pirates walk off, win the series against Cincinnati. Fantastic way to end that series on Sunday, but let's start there.
Oh, absolutely. Senior day festivities for ECU. The Pirates fell behind early, was down 5-1 going into the bottom of the eighth inning. The Bearcats went to their bullpen, and their bullpen just couldn't find the strike zone. I believe there were 7 Bearcat walks to Pirates in the eighth and ninth innings, surrendered by their bullpen. And ECU was able to take advantage of that with the win, 6-5 on a walk-off. They took 2 out of 3 from Cincinnati, kind of made up for Friday night. A lot of Pirate fans think that Cincinnati stole one Friday night with back-to-back solo home runs in the ninth inning to beat ECU 4-3, but it's all as well and good as the Pirates took 2 out of 3, and if they can handle business against Campbell today, they'll have a very anticipated and very important weekend matchup up in Stores against UConn with regional host implications on the line as well as conference seeding on the line right before they go down to Clearwater for the tournament. So it's very busy end of the year for ECU and a lot to play for here in the next 2 weeks, setting up for the regionals about 2.5 weeks from now.
Yeah, I again want to say that looking forward to I don't think the postseason can get started fast enough, but I know again you gotta start by taking care of this, the business at hand, and again very important as you were talking about when it comes to seeding and all those sorts of things. So I definitely want to clue into that, and I think next week we're going to have a great conversation about where ECU is heading into that conference tournament, and again what could happen with some success in that conference tournament. But before we move away from that, can we spend a few minutes and talk about this kid, the D.H. Conley kid, Packard, who's been unbelievable. I think at the plate, it's been a great run, and it's similar to what we talk about on the football side with Holton Ahlers. I love that it's not only an ECU kid, but it's a Greenville kid. It's a D.H. Conley kid who's having this great run.
Oh, absolutely. And with Packard, he's batting over 400 season. Leads the team in home runs, double-digit home runs to go along with that 400 batting average. I think it's a 405. What it was after the weekend. It's good for 8th nationally. He has a 28-game hitting streak, the second most in ECU history. He's able to tie it. He would tie it tonight with a hit against Campbell and would be able to break it over the weekend in Stores. But Packard's just – and a lot of this with his hit streak, especially last week in all 5 games for ECU, Packard got on base and got a hit in his first at-bat, leading off the game, setting the tone with a hit, getting the leadoff guy on. He's everything you'd want a leadoff hitter with a good balance of power and contact. He's able to slap base hits, and he's able to hit one over the scoreboard. He's an absolute complete player, complete stud, and he's going to be a very important part of ECU's success going forward, not only this year but next year, because being a sophomore, he's not eligible for the MLB draft, so he will be returning to ECU next year for the Pirates.
Kyle, I know you're mostly ECU centric when it comes to college baseball, but the reason we love talking to you about it so much is because you know the full college baseball landscape. I don't pay much attention myself, but one thing I did notice is that over in the ACC, it is an absolute neck and neck race at the top of that conference between Clemson, NC State, Duke, and North Carolina. First place, all the seeding, the top four is going to be decided here on the final weekend. Is the ACC probably the deepest or at least most top-heavy baseball conference in the nation right now?
No, SEC. The SEC is going to have all of their teams make the NCAA tournament except for Alabama, Tennessee, and Missouri.
Wow.
LSU is on the fence. They're a very bubble team. They can play their way with a good week in Hoover, Alabama, the SEC tournament. They should be getting in. They have a very high RPI, but SEC is definitely a tougher baseball conference. But that's nothing taken away from the ACC. It's just as much up there. I believe they are third RPI going into this week as a conference as a whole. But like you said, it's coming down to the wire between the three North Carolina schools and Clemson. All four are going to host a regional. I think I probably almost would say three of those four are going to host a super regional. It is a very top-heavy league with the ACC. It's a very good league, but it's going to be a lot of fun this weekend next week, in Durham, because that ACC tournament is going to be wide open.
I already know the answer to this because I follow you on Twitter, but you do agree, though, that the state of North Carolina is the center of the college baseball universe this season, right? Because I saw your tweet.
Yes, it is. There are other states, we talked about it multiple weeks. Texas, California, and Florida and North Carolina are kind of the big four states. Florida's got a lot of very good teams. California has UCLA, Stanford, Cal State Fullerton, Long Beach State, all tournament teams. Florida, you have USF, UCF that should be making the tournament. The number one overall seed, Florida. Stenson's in contention for a regional host bid. The Hatters out of the Atlantic Sun. So Florida's very deep, along with Texas Tech, Texas A&M, UT Austin, TCU. They're not having as good of a year as most, but Houston, Rice. It's very deep in those four states, and that's kind of the landscape of college baseball. If you just go south of North Carolina and then keep that southern little tier over to Texas, kind of go up to California and include Oregon in it, but really the coastal Gulf is really the landscape of college baseball and the real hotbed for college baseball.
Yes, a fantastic performance all around for the whole state of North Carolina when it comes to baseball. We need to do this real quick. Kyle, can you do one more quick segment?
Absolutely.
All right, let's take a quick break. We got to take a quick break. We'll come back more from Kyle Gaskins coming up.